So realizing that you are awareness does not make your desires disappear into thin air, nor does it stop them from unfolding, okay? It makes your desires unfold without distortion. So if somewhere deep down you've been afraid that waking up to I am, meaning knowing, truly knowing the power of I am, means losing what you wish to experience or love, just please stay with me. Because that fear comes from a massive misunderstanding of what awareness actually is. And this comes from a question from a subscriber. So maybe you're thinking of this question as well, which says, but what if my desire won't come even after I realize I'm awareness? And that question might show up right after you start feeling some peace too, right? And maybe the question even whispers further, like, sure, your awareness, blah, 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 blah. But like, what if I still don't get what I want? And what if others are saying like, I definitely won't get what I want if it's not been coming for a while? Yeah, that's the question. So yeah, let's talk about it here, right? Let's even see the fear. Let's decode the fear underneath the question. Because this fear is about misidentification, right? Here's the real voice behind that question. And it says, if I let go of chasing, if I no longer have the identity that wants this thing, if I rest in I am, will I lose everything I care about? Because someone told you that desire, some of those desires are from the character, so it might not happen. Like, ouch. That's like telling a child, now that you know Santa is not real, you also don't get the bike. Oh, you get the bike. So let's just break this down, okay? Like really experientially, so that you can see this for yourself, right? And the deeper question here is noticing, do desires arise from lack or not? And I've addressed this a few times, but we'll do it here again. When you're identified as the character, the ego or the separate self, it feels like your desires arise from lack. But when you're resting as awareness, you see clearly that the desire doesn't come from lack. The story about the desire often does. But the desire itself, like everything, it arises from that same source that birthed everything. The same place your heartbeat came from, the same place the wind came from, the same place this moment came from. Desire is simply an arising. It's not good or bad. It's not lack of fullness. It just is. But here's the thing. When you're identified with a collection of stories, meaning the character or the separate self, you filter that desire through a lens of deficiency. Just a filter. Now it sounds like, oh, I want this because I'm not enough without it. I want them because they complete me and I need them. I desperately need them because manifestation works. I need it to prove I'm worthy. If I don't get this, it means I'm not a master manifester and I've failed. All of that is interpretation of the desire, not the desire itself. That is the lens of the character. It's like wearing blue sunglasses and saying the world is blue. Okay, cool. Good for you. It's blue. But the world is not blue. You're just wearing the damn glasses, right? So what even changes when you rest as awareness or as I am? Does the desire go away? Not necessarily. It may or may not. It can shift, it can be the same. But the clinging does, the urgency does, the story that I need this to be okay dissolves. And then you realize The desire never came from a problem. It arose in awareness like a wave in the ocean, and it never had to mean anything about your worth. So if you look at a relationship desire, right, from the lens of the character or the separate self or the ego, it says, I want them because I'm just tired of being alone and I deserve this. It's been 4 years. I'm obviously like broken. Everyone is in a relationship. So why not me? Why can't I manifest it? Well, am I too much? Not enough? Well, I need them to feel loved again. And I just want it because I want it. That's not really a desire. That's a trauma bundle disguised as a relationship goal, as a desire. Now contrast that with what's happening from awareness, right? There's a gentle pull towards connection. And it can be with the same person, a different person, whatever. It's dependent on you, whatever you want from that place. It feels light, like a song that wants to be sung. Nothing affects your peace there. But the desire is still here, and it's beautiful. And it comes when it comes. There's no urgency there. Can you feel the difference? Both include the same desire, but one is filtered through lack. The other is unfiltered, undistorted, unresisted. And yes, that second one, the one coming from awareness that you're seeing, it's a kind of desire that manifests with ease, not because it's some separate desire. Because there's nothing in the way, there's no resistance, there's no meaning making, there's no proof seeking. So does resting as awareness means you might not get the desire? This is really the most misunderstood like line in this community, you know. If the desire doesn't come, it's because it wasn't really yours. That's a misunderstanding. And that can sound even scary, right? Like awareness is this cosmic fun ruiner. But let's be a little bit more precise here, right? Just because you rest as awareness doesn't mean your desire always has to arrive instantly in your field, like in your physical view. But it also doesn't mean that it won't, right? And it definitely does not mean that you're being punished for ever wanting something in this experience, or that, oh my God, you're so still identified with the character. No, that's just the ego using non duality to shame itself. And let me say that again louder. Okay, I'm not going to scream, but I'm going to say it loud. The fact that something has not arrived yet doesn't mean it won't. And it doesn't mean it came from the wrong place. It doesn't mean it came from lack. It does not mean that you're doing resting in awareness wrong. It just means that it hasn't arrived yet. Yet. That's the key word. And if the spiral starts, but what if it never comes? Okay, let's go there. And here's how this panic spiral kind of plays out, right? It's like, oh, okay, so I've stopped obsessing. I've dropped identity. I'm resting as I am. But what if I just never get it? I don't see it. It's nothing is moving. I don't see it. What if this is just a trick? What if this was just a carrot and stick thing, you know? What if I misunderstood the entire game? I guess I should just go live like a monk. Can you see? Again, once again, the fear here is not about the desire. The fear is coming from a misidentification, which is saying, will I be okay even if it doesn't come? And the answer is yes. You'll be more than okay. You will be free. And that doesn't mean your desire won't come. Because the paradox is this: from this freedom, your desires seem to manifest faster, cleaner, without resistance, without seeming blocks, because nothing seems to be standing in the way. Definitely not all the mental gymnastics. And what if they don't arrive instantly in the physical world? That's okay too, because you're not measuring your life in arrivals, right? You're living from being, from awareness, from I am. And from awareness, from this being, everything arises in perfect rhythm. You're not even going to be checking about the time if you're truly resting as awareness. And that only you can know. No one can know that for you if you're truly resting it or not. So you're not asked to kill your desire here. You're just being invited to see it so clearly, to strip off the stories, to set aside the meaning, to relax into the silence that still holds the desire. And that's it. There's no higher self up there deciding what's too charactery. There's no one saying, oh, sorry, love, like you wanted this when you were anxious, application denied. This isn't the TSA. There is no scanner. Is the desire showing up cleanly and fully without needing to prove your worth? Is that your true desire, whatever it is? If so, it's as sacred as silence. If not, that's beautiful too. Now you get to see the distortion. You're not trying to go fix it or heal it. You're just trying to see it. And in seeing it, you're resting as awareness again. That's it. And if the question is, but if it feels meaningless, then what? And here's another misunderstood bit. When I rest as source, everything feels meaningless. Yeah, sure, of course. That is clear seeing. You are seeing it clearly. And then the character comes up like this. And it goes, that means nothing matters. Why want anything? Why want anything? Right? But actually, it means nothing is loaded with story. And you're right, by the way. That means you can get your desire when nothing is loaded with story. You're no longer projecting meaning onto neutral experiences. So now you get to play. You get to choose a scene if you want, not to escape yourself, but to dance as yourself. You don't drop the scene, imaginary scenario, or an affirmation, or whatever it is, to be spiritual. You don't even need to keep the scene to manifest. You pause, then you rest, and you experience, you manifest. And if something lights up in your heart, you follow it. Not because it means something, but because it's just joy. It's just joy. Life is just flowing. Right? Because you're pausing, resting, manifesting, pause, rest, manifest. If you want a job and it's coming from lack, right? It says, I need this job because I'm nothing without a title. I need the money or I'll be stuck forever. And if I don't get it, I will never be enough. But from awareness, the same desire, it says, oh, sure, this role feels alive and spacious. Yeah, I would love to experience this. But do I need it to complete me or I'm desperate for it? Nah, it's just good to experience it. And see the same pattern? The desire didn't change. The identity did. And it's the identity changed because you're resting in who you are. So I want you to pause right now. Just close your eyes for a few moments. Try this guided pause question. Drop the story of me for a moment. Let the identity be set aside like mist, right? And ask yourself, is the desire still here? Let it arise. Just feel it. And now ask, what does this desire mean about me? Don't answer. Just watch what comes. And now ask, without that meaning, is the desire still here? And what if this desire showed up today? Would I be more me? What if it didn't show up today? Am I any less me? Just pause and notice the desire still exists if it does, but it no longer defines you, this is how your desire gets to manifest freely. And if the desire changes, that's totally cool too. No one said you need to be stuck to the same desire. So yeah, you don't need to drop the desire. You don't need to purify it. You don't need to kill the character or drop the character. You just need to see clearly what's here. And in that seeing, you're already home, already whole, right? And the desire, it arises in your world naturally when there is no you trying to make it happen. The wave doesn't chase the ocean, it is the ocean, and the ocean is the wave. It's the same. You don't make the manifestation happen. You just stop pretending that you're not what it's made of, because you are. It's made of awareness, right? And by the way, this is exactly what I explore in the Beliefless Manifestation free workshop that's coming up on February 8th at 10:05 Eastern Standard Time, where we drop the stories without dropping your desire and see what it's like to manifest as source, not by fixing identity. And stop doubting if it's character-based or pure enough. And you can join live by saying, I am ready in the in the comments below, and I'll hook you up with the link. And once again, just be open to what's coming up. Nobody can tell you if a particular desire for you is coming from one place or the other. Only you can know that for yourself. And yes, just as we kind of played with this and saw, you can check for yourself if it's the same desire you'd like to follow, even if you're resting as awareness. Or if, as life is flowing, you notice the desire has changed on its own, or it's morphed into something else, that too is welcome. But nobody gets to say that for you, or even place a timeline on it, because anything beyond recognizing what is here right now is simply a story. And a story that doesn't represent wholeness is naturally made of lack. And that's not something you need to hold on to. You get to notice the story, notice these phrases, these things happening, and you get to rely on yourself, because nobody can take away these first-hand experiences. And yeah, someone else asked me about my one-on-one coaching. That's in the description as well. And it's also in the comments, in the link in the comment as well, where we get to see experientially deep in your bones what it is like to know who you are. And I don't just mean through guided pause questions. I mean really somatically finding holes in your particular stories and then going there. So yes, I would love to see you in the comments. If you want one-on-one coaching, it's in my description. If you want to join my free Beliefless workshop, micro workshop, just say, I am ready in the comments. I will see you then. I love reading your insights and I so appreciate you.